So, our last review of the day is going to be for the film Black Phone 2. Of course, it is a sequel to the first Black Phone here. This is the same creative team who've come back to make the sequel here. You have director Scott Derrickson, who did the first movie there. He's also done numerous other horror films there, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, as well as Sinister there. Also famous for directing Doctor Strange, the MCU film. This is co-written by him as well, and then co-written by C. Robert Cargill there as well. So same creative team you got for the sequel, but different location, different kind of things kind of going on here in the sequel and what is going on. Well, you have Finney there, who's returning from the first movie there, along with his sister Gwen, who's also returning from the first movie there. And their psychic abilities are still messing with them here. They still get these calls and messages from the other side from these ghosts here. This time they're getting these messages from these dead children who died at this frozen tundra all the way up in Colorado there.
Mhm.
And it's called them to this place, this camp. But when they get called back to this camp, they see a return from the Grabber there. I think he needs a better name. That name's kind of lame. Honestly, the Grabber. I was like, that's the best you got. I mean, you
Hey,
wearing this.
his face is on the Fanta now.
Yeah, I mean, you got this cool devil mask. It's like you can't
Yeah,
come up
no.
with it. Yeah, but you say he's on Fanta?
Yeah, no, he's
But
on Fanta along with, Freddy Fazbear, Chucky, and Michael Myers.
oh, okay. So he's
But
kind of a horror icon now, I guess.
yeah, he's slowly becoming a her I guess the best he's probably one of the best, most visually apparent characters they've had in a while. Uh,
Mm,
and this movie,
okay.
by the way, was written by somebody you probably know.
Um,
It's
yeah,
written
because
by, old Spill.com alumni Carlisle,
yes, yeah, see Robert Cargill there.
who wrote
Written by
Sinister and
him.
Sinister 2 and the original Black Phone. He co-wrote it.
Yeah. And the story of this is from Joe Hill, who's the son of
Mhm.
Stephen King. There, so it's from his story as well. But yeah, so yeah, they get called up to this camp there. To these kids are kind of calling them from the other side and want them to be put to rest. There, they want to find the killer of these kids. And yeah, so that's kind of the setup you have of this movie. A lot of people have talked about this movie recently and said how derivative it is, especially of other films. And
Yeah.
watching this, you will get a sense, especially with the killer who's haunting,
Very
uh,
Freddy Krueger-esque.
very Freddy Krueger, because he's haunting the main girl's dream, Madeline McGraw, who plays Gwen, who she had powers in the first one. She kind of has like it's basically The Shining. She's kind of got like the
Yeah.
Shining power where she's able to go into like this dream state there and communicate with dead people and see things. And then when she goes into this dream state, it's kind of like this grainy found footage type thing when she goes there, which is kind of I think a cool decent effect there. But how the first movie was more Finney's movie, this feels like more the main character is Gwen, because she's the one really, I think,
Yeah.
taking lead here. And then she's the one that's mainly kind of going like, I want to help these kids that died, and I'm gonna go up here and fight for them and everything. So it seems like she's the main character of this one. Dusk, what were your thoughts here? Black Phone 2.
Uh, Very similar premise to the first one. I do appreciate that it continues fairly quickly after the ending of the first one. Um, but yeah, very much to hop on your comment. If the first one was much more Finney's story, this is much more Gwen's. Um, Very much so. Almost to the point where occasionally Finney just gets put to the side. But man, the grabber sure has a grudge because he is fiending after to kill Finney this entire movie.
Mm.
He
Well, I
wants
mean,
it so bad.
he did kill him.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, killed in quotes because he came back for this.
yeah. Um, and I don't know exactly how his powers worked exactly. I guess they said because he was feeding off the energy of the kids that he had killed, and
Yeah.
um, he's able to interact with them and like
Mm.
hurt them, but they can't see him. Um, and he's able to like there's a scene where it's kind of like goofy but scary at the same time.
Yeah.
Like they say that some lore about the grabber Ethan Hawke is that he's really good at ice skating, and there's a scene where he's ice skating
Yeah.
there with his weapon and his tomahawk there, his hatchet, and he's ice skating and everything and hurting people. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it was kind of goofy but kind of
Y
scary at the same time. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I
Um,
don't know exactly how all that exactly worked there, but
Nor his weakness. They
mm,
find out. They're just like, "Here, this is how you beat him."
yeah.
It's
They
kinda
just
like, "Sure, okay."
yeah, they just kinda, like, I guess, take a good guess. It's like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah, you're like, "Alright, yeah." I mean,
yeah,
to be fair, they it is told to them, but
yeah,
it just like yeah, this very much feels like a very much feels like a sequel, common sequel, almost like a, "Well, what do you do now?" Because you had your first one, you had your
mm,
first concept, you had your first, "Alright, this is what we got, and this is our premise, and this is our character," and it's like, "Okay, wow, that movie did way better than we thought it would. Wow, okay. Well, if we're gonna do a sequel, what are we gonna do? Well, I guess we gotta give him some backstory, a little bit, some extra stuff.
mm,
I mean,
yeah,
we already gave him characteristics in the first one. We already gave him story. Well, what do we do now?" And so the next best option that has, well, Finney's still got to be there, and then Gwen. We can now that they're both kind of both aged up, we can have them both be in it, and we can still have a lot of great kills, a lot of inventive kills, and let's just get wacky with it, kind of sort of. Usually they wait to like a fourth or fifth movie before they get wacky. This one is just like, let's just have him ice skate on there.
yeah,
F it, who cares? Let them be
yeah,
weird. Like I kind of admire this movie for being weird. The first one was already weird, but I appreciate that it's not afraid to get weird in
mm,
surreal ways, almost in like a dreamlike way. Where in Freddy Krueger, things would get weird because it was a dream world, and Freddy would be messing with things, and it always had like a dreamlike sense. In this, he would just sometimes the grabber would just like almost be childish in a way, and just play with his food by just messing around.
mm,
And
yeah,
that's kind of and I do appreciate it because that is very creepy, where you're just like, what are you doing?" And it's like, "Well, just having fun."
mm,
And then
yeah,
fun like, "This is fun for you?" "Yes. Yes, it is."
yeah. I mean, he's already got it's like, "Hey, I got nothing left to lose. I'm already dead,
Exactly.
and I'm just gonna fuck with you, I got nothing left to
I'm just
lose."
too pissed off now.
Um, and one of the drawbacks with this sequel, Ethan Hawke, if you're expecting to see a lot of him as the grabber, you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't come in until like midway through the movie,
Yeah.
and towards the tail end of it. So you're not gonna see a whole lot of him in that performance there. And I know a lot of people loved him in the first one. That's what made him, like you said, on the can of Fanta, and he's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
on Lay's chips bags and shit like that. So that is there's a lot less of him in this one. Um, but he's still good. I think he's still good in this. I just wish there was more of him there. Also another thing I liked about it, the when you actually see the kids and how you see kind of their bodies and everything like that and them appearing to Gwen, that does
Mhm.
look really creepy and really effective.
Yeah.
That and it does look really terrifying. Like seeing how they kind of you don't see how they die, but you see the aftermath of like their bodies and everything like
Honestly,
that.
that's enough a lot of times.
Yeah, and that's really effective, and that's really scary with that. The stuff that happens to Gwen in this, like where she's battling him in this, kind of dimension or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. That's looks really good. I think, like I said, the grainy kind of Super 8 type footage of it that looks really cool. And then how she's able to get hurt there in the dream world again, much like something you'd see like a Nightmare on Elm Street or Doctor Sleep, which was that sequel to
Mm.
The Shining. And also has a little bit of like The Conjuring too, because psychic abilities plus you're hunting, they actually take a case, you know what I mean? Because they keep getting calls from these kids and so they actually like take a case from them and go to there to bust it. Um,
Oh, alright.
yeah, you know what I mean. They kind of do that in there, and then With his abilities, Finney, it's like, okay, I guess you couldn't call it a black phone unless you had a black phone, so they need to keep bringing that back. Uh,
Gotta put it out there in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, I guess you couldn't have the movie without that, and it's like, okay, I don't know exactly how. I mean, again, you're arguing ghost logic and psychic logic, I
Yeah,
guess, but
at a certain point, like, why does Freddy Krueger have the abilities he has?
yeah,
Why did this and this? They gave various reasons throughout the movies why things happened, but it was always like retconned in the next movie or whatever. It doesn't. Yeah, you're working on ghost logic. This is folkloric ghost logic of why does he work on phones? Because he does. That's his mythology. Shut up.
yeah. So,
If they when they get this up there though, when it starts getting cell phones, it's like, well, how does he connect to a signal? Does he have broadband internet? It's like, shut up.
uh,
Or they might be like, oh, he only works on these old phones because it's tangible.
yeah, and
Who knows?
I don't know if this is gonna get a third one.
I don't know. You know,
I mean, maybe hey, if this one's successful,
if
maybe they'll
this was
close.
successful, horror franchises are almost usually, if you get the budget right, pretty
Yeah.
successful.
And like the first one did really well. Like
Yeah.
budget to 16, 18 million, made box office 161.4 million. That's what's reported for the box office there,
Mhm.
reportedly. So did very, very well and ended up getting a sequel. But yeah. Do you think this movie's a step down?
Uh,
Yeah.
in some ways, I wanted more Ethan Hawke.
Mm. Okay. Yeah.
I think they make up with some of the more drastic kills, in some ways, but the first one already had some really pretty good kills too, and some interesting set pieces. I think they dumbed down some elements of it because they wanted to appeal a bit more broadly. The first one did feel more niche. This one feels like, okay, we got to expand this a little bit.
Mm. Gotta add superpowers a little bit
Yeah.
more, yeah. Gonna do that. And, I do think, like, the movies I mentioned,
Mhm.
they are better than this movie. Doctor Sleep is better than Black Phone 2. Nightmare on Elm Street, of course, that's classic and that's legendary. Even the first Conjuring, I think, and not it's not better than the recent Conjuring that we
No.
just saw, but, the first Conjuring movie, I think it's better than this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it has kind of those issues and problems with that. Like I said, I won't argue the logic of the powers and all that too much. And like I said, lack of Ethan Hawke in it. And also it does some stuff like with the whole lore and backstory with these characters that's like, oh, you just introduced this now? Like that never
Mhm.
got brought up in the first movie or anything. And it's like, oh, all these people are somehow connected in more ways than one. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that too much.
Yeah.
So that kind of throws me off a little bit there. Um, but, did you like these, actors coming back again? You have Mason, Thames and, Madeline McGraw there?
Uh, I liked, yeah, I like McGraw coming back as Finney. I think he does a fine enough job, but I think Gwen does all right. But my God, could they have not chosen a better haircut and better
Mm.
wardrobe?
So you think she look a little Scooby-Dooish? You
Yeah,
think?
I do. That one outfit, like when she's wearing like the pink, yellow, and whatever she's talking, like I'm sorry, Mason is Finney, yeah, but yeah, Madeline. I just think I don't know who they dressed, why they dressed up in some of the outfits. I'm just like, okay, sure, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm like, who allowed you to walk out there? Then again, it is in the middle of nowhere. It is it's always cold. But yeah, like just some of it. And her haircut, like I know she didn't have the greatest haircut before, but at least that short bob cut I just felt was like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. I guess that was the style, man.
That was
19
as was the style of the time.
Yeah.
She got the pixie cut, as it were.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I like them coming back. I think they do pretty well there. Um, and I like some of the stuff that Mason Thames is dealing with because his character still kind of got PTSD from what happened in the first movie, being kidnapped, and he's kind of like trying to still deal with that. And he's kind of having these terrible coping mechanisms, like he's fighting with people and he's smoking a lot of weed and everything like that. So he's having these awful coping mechanisms to deal with that. Um, when they go to the cabin and everything like that to investigate, some of the people at the cabin, you got some new actors that come in here, like Damian Bashir, who's the head of the camp. Some of it's a little kind of corny with him, and then also these other members there. They get this religious couple who's there, that are kind of a little goofy. But yeah, so I think it's a step down from the first one.
Yeah.
I think there's still some things to like about it. Um, I wouldn't recommend maybe going to the theater to see it. I think you'd be better off maybe streaming it, there. So that's what kind of I would be giving it. It's just a plain stream it for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are that's my rating and final thoughts. What about you, Desk?
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I think this is a good stream it.
Mm, okay.
It's
Yeah.
not a bad movie by any means. I enjoyed a lot of parts of it. Again, the parts we talked about pretty much is my complaints. A little more Ethan Hawke, little bit more kind of thrills with my kills, but a little too much kind of like wasting a bit of time here and there. But in some parts, but overall, I think it's a pretty solid sequel. It's a little step down, but hey, you know what? You catch lightning in a bottle once. It's hard to recapture it.
Yeah. So yeah, two just plain streamings
Yeah.
for Black Phone 2 there.
Electric
Uh,
Boogaloo.
Yeah, good stuff there. Has a budget reportedly of 30 million.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll do just as well as the first one or maybe a step down. Because on Rotten Tomatoes, even though I think it's getting kind of divisive reviews, I think Rotten Tomatoes still has like a 70% fresh rating for it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if people go like, well, maybe I still want to see it anyway because I think it's kind of decent. So maybe I want to go see it. So yeah. But the audience score is pretty high for this, 86%. So maybe a lot of audience seems to be liking it. Mm. All right. So
Mhm.
that was our review. Black Phone 2 there.